Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 40th episode of The Black Couch, and in this episode, we're going to be reviewing Kick-Ass 2. So, like all reviews, let's start off with each taking turns of talking about what we liked, and then we'll talk about what we didn't like. I guess I'll start first. Kick-Ass 2. I really don't know why so many people don't like this movie. I mean, a lot of critics have been bashing it. It's got like a 20-something% Rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I think this is the kind of movie where I think I agree with the audience percentage more so than the critics percentage, which is 80-something. And I totally agree with that. I like this movie. I'm not sure if I think it's better than the first one, but it's definitely an enjoyable movie. I like that they continued the realism of the first one. They continued the story. They developed how more and more people became superheroes. I liked how Kick-Ass transitioned to, learning to fight with Hit Girl, and he gets better. But I like how he doesn't all of a sudden become invincible. He still gets beat up, and it's still realistic. I like that it's fun, but I also like how they're taking a more serious route this time. Although I think sometimes they take themselves too seriously, but I'll talk about that in the what I didn't like section. But overall, I thought it was a very fun movie. I like the characters. The acting was great as always. I love Chloe. She's amazing. I love Aaron. He's great too. And I just liked how fun it was and how realistic it was. And like I said, I remember talking about this when I watched the first Kick-Ass. I felt like the thing with the rocket launchers and like the jetpacks was kind of unrealistic, and I was afraid they were going to do that in this one. But I like how they kept it more grounded. And it just makes sense that these people will become superheroes, and I love the character interaction. I just love it. Yeah.
Okay, so what I liked about it was the script. At times it took itself seriously, but I like how the overall tone it kept it knows it's a superhero movie.
Right.
Like, that's translating from the comic to a big screen. It's not trying to be a character study of like some professor lecture or something. It knows what it is. I like how the characters, even though they don't progress much, the change in the setting between when Chloe's character was just a kid and now that she's in high school, it provides a kind of insight into like how a normal person would handle being like a superhero. And I like just how like the script knows what it is and the characters are fun. Jim Carrey's character, Colonel Stars and Stripes, when he's on screen, he lightens the entire mood, no matter like if it's a serious thing, whatever it is. If he's talking, you're having fun, and then that's what he said in the movie too. It's something about having fun. And that's what he's
yeah.
And the character of Kick-Ass, this time we see him having like it's not exactly a struggle, but when you have people start joining Justice Forever, you see how like again with the realism how people would react to superheroes and how you would handle being one, and you're not. It reminds you that you're not invincible.
Right, and I like how like they showed the consequences of like what it is when you're a superhero in real life. I like how their base got trashed. I like how like people actually get hurt, and it's not like a comic book movie where
and it's not like we're in like a big budget movie where you just have piles and piles of bodies that don't matter. In this movie, when someone dies, it's someone integral to the story.
Yeah, and like it just makes sense because this is exactly what would happen if real superheroes existed. It's not like a fairy tale kind of thing. It's like this is what's gonna happen, and that's the reality of it.
If someone dies, you're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So like in the movie, they once again with the consequences thing, they show you like what could happen if superheroes really existed, and it makes you think like. Although it's really cool that superheroes exist in these worlds, you don't really want that to happen in real life because people can die and stuff, and you think, like Spider-Man, Batman, you're like, oh, I wish I was them. In this movie, you're like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that pressure.
Yeah, they don't glorify superheroes. They show you the reality of the superheroes.
Yeah.
And I also like the villain. When they kill people, it's really messed up.
Yeah.
Because in other movies, when the bad guy decides to kill someone, it's like, oh, okay, that's totally fake the way he's doing it.
Yeah, or like it's like a dramatic but like this one it's like you're stabbed, you're dead. That's over.
Yeah, that's how it's the gravity of the situation that it's
Right.
in. And also the fight sequences are a lot better this time around, I think.
Yeah.
And I like the choreography because the way they fight, the action is intense and it's fun, but the way that it's choreographed, it makes it seem like these people are amateurs.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's not set up. It's like, oh yeah, this is like how they would really fight. It's not like
when everyone's on screen fighting, he's just flailing his arms around.
Yeah, and I think that's a recurring theme. Like they keep it as realistic as possible, and that I think that's like the core aspect of Kick-Ass. Is there anything else, Anna?
The villain, I also really like. I like how in the beginning he's just like a stupid idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
Like in other movies, you just think, oh, they know exactly what they're doing. This is their plan. This is what they're gonna do.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
This one, he's just like, oh, I think I'm gonna do this. I think that's okay.
Yeah, and he's just like some kind of crazy kid who has like he just thinks he can be a villain. He's like way over his head.
Yeah, and as a result of that, all of his scenes are pretty much funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's.
This movie is very funny.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about what we didn't like. I guess I'll start first. One aspect I didn't really like about this movie was I felt like they took themselves too seriously. Whereas in the first one, I felt like it's a fun superhero realistic action movie, and I really liked how much fun it seemed like they're having. And this one, I felt like they were trying to make themselves too serious. Like they thought, oh, the first one no one took it seriously. Let's make it more serious. Which I don't know. It just took out the identity of Kick-Ass for me, like the essence of what Kick-Ass was in the first movie. I also didn't like how they kept hammering in the theme of the movie, which is like your identity and when you put on a mask, is that who you are or who are you underneath? Or like you have to take on the responsibility of a superhero, the reality of it, like all these different themes. I feel like they kept trying to hammer it in and like they kept trying to talk about it. And I feel like the difference between this and like a movie like The Dark Knight, where they're constantly talking about it, is like The Dark Knight knows exactly what it is, and it's a serious superhero movie, and you take it seriously. And I'm not saying that you're not gonna take Kick-Ass seriously, but I'm saying that's not what I think Kick-Ass is. And I feel like they should have showed the consequences, showed the themes, maybe through a scene where a character is doing things, more so than sitting down and talking to each other. I feel like that's not what Kick-Ass is supposed to be about. So I feel like they should have showed more than talk more, especially when they're talking about the consequences. It just felt like they were just reading off a script and like they had to do that. Like that, I don't feel like that's what Kick-Ass was about. But I also feel like some of the dialogue was a bit corny too, and I felt like Chloe's acting in the beginning was a bit off, but she does get a lot better towards the end. And I just felt like, they took themselves too seriously sometimes. And some of the characters, I feel like they could have developed more. Like Jim Carrey's character was an interesting character, and I feel like they should have explored that more. Also, the whole concept of Hit Girl being in high school, I feel like there was a lot of room for development, and they didn't really go for it. And I know, Steven, you said you didn't feel like Hit Girl needed development.
Yeah, because my thought process behind that was because that's all she's known her whole life, right? If you start changing, like just because she's in high school, you start changing who she is, it's not gonna feel like Hit Girl anymore. Because I feel like the setting took place of what kind of character development that she needed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because you gave us this high school environment for Hit Girl, you need to give us something more than just what it is. And I feel like by the end of the movie, Hit Girl is the same person she was in the beginning of the movie. Like there's not much of a change in her character. And I think like because she's one of the main people, I feel like she should get more. And I feel like Kick-Ass had some development, but it wasn't that much. And I feel like these movies like hinge more on their funny, witty script and like their themes more so than their characters, which I feel like with a superhero movie you have to balance that because characters is very important because you have all these people, different personalities, different morals, like all wearing different kind of costumes. I feel like there's room for a lot of different characters to be developed.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's just how I feel. And yeah, that's about it. Overall, I still feel like the good stuff trumps the bad stuff, but that's just the stuff I didn't like. I just felt like too serious sometimes and try to hammer in those themes too much and lack of character development. On to you.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. I didn't actually not like a lot of like. Okay. What I'm trying to say. Okay. I actually liked a lot of the movie. There's very little that I actually didn't like. I mean, yeah, sometimes the line got a bit corny, but it's because of the Kick-Ass franchise that you know that it's lifted from this comic book from a guy who made this comic book out of fun, and the lines are obviously not going to be like from someone who spent their whole life writing character studies about people who are superheroes. He's writing from a perspective of a normal guy, which helps fuel the character development of Kick-Ass, who is essentially a normal guy. Him being a normal guy, you understand that because when you bring Hit Girl into this environment with him, you see that you're going to have these awkward moments, and I guess I don't fault the movie for that because it knows its characters and who they are.
Right, it's comfortable with what they are, so they don't have to tread on different waters.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I didn't really like was the Javier character, the Chris's butler guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, I don't know, he was really awkward most of the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
When he was on screen with Chris, I was like, okay, I get it. You're his butler guy. You're trying to be funny, but can you just try and keep up with the humor? Because you're
out.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like was like the relationships with some of the characters are kind of awkward. Like
exactly, I agree.
Kick-Ass and his dad, like why, like they're just like
they don't really develop his dad that much, right?
Father-son relationship. Something happens to him, and you're just like, oh, it's a shocker, but like it's just. I mean, Kick-Ass, you see, like that man doesn't care. It's just like you don't feel that father-son relationship, and it's just awkward sometimes. But then other times, like Kick-Ass and Hit Girl's relationship, I think you can kind of see like what they want to do and what they have to keep as a promise to like the people, like Kick-Ass to his dad and Mindy to Marcus or whatever. So yeah, that's relationships sometimes are kind of off.
Okay. Anything else, or you thought the movie was pretty good?
We were pretty good.
This is kind of like Pacific Rim for me. Technically, some parts were a bit not wrong, but not very well done. But because most of the time the movie was really fun, I can't and judging by what kind of movie it is, like the Kick-Ass franchise isn't meant to be taken seriously, and I can't really fault the movie for having those deficiencies.
Right. I don't know. I feel like because it's supposed to be a fun movie, I feel like they wanted us to take them seriously more so than the first one. I feel like.
Yeah, I know, but with the emotional scenes, because.
Right. So you're saying you can't really fault them for failing in some of the emotional scenes because that's not what they are, even though they're trying to make us believe that.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
I mean, I can't really say I didn't feel anything. I mean, during those scenes, it was pretty emotional.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. So overall, Kick-Ass 2 was a fun movie. I don't understand what all the critics are saying. I completely disagree. I thought Kick-Ass 2 was a fun, entertaining movie. Loved the characters, although I feel like there's a lack of development there. I feel like they took themselves too seriously sometimes. The dialogue was kind of jolted sometimes. There could have been way more development for Hit Girl, for me at least. But overall, I feel like the good stuff really trumps the bad stuff. And like Steven said, this is sort of like Pacific Rim where you can't really fault the movie because it's just so much fun. And I really enjoyed it. So overall, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. How about you?
Yeah, anyone? Chloe and Aaron's and Chris's performance, they're all really compelling. Not compelling, but what am I saying? They're not compelling, but they know who their characters are, and no time when they're on screen do you feel like they're out of character.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that really helps the movie, and the music was great as always, and just acting overall in this. And it's not an award-winning story, but but it's good enough to get the story across of this normal guy being a superhero. So for me, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Anna?
This was an extremely fun movie, and it's just one of those movies you don't go in thinking it's gonna be like amazing, like Oscar worthy or something. It's just you sit there, you just have fun with it, and I think that's the beauty of this movie. And I'm definitely gonna give it a 7.5 because those action scenes were just awesome.
All right, so overall, I think across the board we really enjoyed it. The reason I gave it a 7 out of 10 was because I didn't feel like it was that amazing. And I honestly feel like the first one was a bit better for me, just because I like the funner aspects of Kick-Ass more so than when they're taking themselves too seriously. Which, granted, is just my opinion that I think they're taking themselves seriously. But I feel like the first one's a bit better, so 7 out of 10. But overall, I think all three of us can agree we enjoyed the movie. Across the board, average score is an 8 out of 10. So that's it for a review of Kick-Ass 2. If you guys watched the movie, please give your review down below. Tell us what you think. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with us on our opinions of Kick-Ass 2? Do you disagree? Tell us in the comment section down below. We'll love to read your opinions. They're always awesome. And like Anna always says, please give us suggestions for future topics, for future episodes. This is the season finale of Season 4, so stay tuned for Season 5. We have amazing stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you guys like the video, please like it. Like it even more, please favorite it. Like it even more, please share it. Subscribe to the channel for updated content. Also subscribe to our personal channels. We have other stuff there too. And yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.